So in Advaita Vedanta, the soul is called Jiva, and it means literally being alive, that which has aliveness. It's a unit of aliveness. And the Atma is the one which is unclothed. When this Jiva, or in other words, the soul, which is a live being, is uncloaked from the Maya, from the illusion, from the veiling, then it becomes reunited with the Supreme Self, and that's called the Atma or Atman. And actually, as we look around in many traditions all around the world, we understand, we know that the soul is the individual entity, it's the individual unit, which is a spark of divine. Its essence is divine, but it's a created unit which then goes on and experiences all the creation. In other words, the soul is an instrument of divine. It's part of divine, and it is an instrument of skillful means of experiencing and carrying out the tasks throughout the universe. So the self, the source, has decided that it would be very interesting to have many smaller parts of itself, himself or herself. There is no gender as such for the source. So the source itself has divided into many smaller sparks to experience the creation at various levels, degrees, from many different points of view. And that was one of the first and most amazing step of creation. As the creation was stepping down the ladder, at the very top, it's the source, it's the pure consciousness, and then it says, okay, let's manifest something. So it manifested the spirit realm, the highest divine spirit realm of the souls, creator souls. The very first souls that ever came into the universe were the gods, the creator souls, who were assigned the tasks to create and manage the parts of the creation. So the universe was born first in the spiritual realm, not as we know it, from human perspective, but from a spirit realm. And as the process of densification was proceeding along, it's from the very source, the pure source itself, then it densifies, like from the gas, from the cloud, then it rains as the water. Yes, it takes a form and shape. It's a parallel, and then it becomes visible water, like a pond or a lake or the ocean or the river. And when the weather is colder, it becomes as ice, even more solid form. So it's the same water which has many forms. The same way the spirit has many forms, and as the densification was happening, the souls were becoming more and more inhabiting these denser forms, and all the way down to some troubles of creation, which mainly is 4D and 3D. Some distortions were arising, some ways which are not fully natural, some anomalies. And the souls were experimenting even further. What if we do things like this and see how much we can go far in this, so to speak, separation? You can't ever be really separated, but connecting in this way, that way, and seeing what would happen if we lose the memory and make more veils to forget the actuality of undeniable oneness, because in reality it's impossible not to be one with God, self, source, but it can be assumed, and that's called the veiling. And that's how the jiva, or the soul, which is veiled, meaning that there are many clouds veiling its beautiful essence, came to be. So essentially, even in Advaita Vedanta, it is known that the soul, or jiva, is that which is cloaked or veiled. And when the cloaking is unveiled or uncloaked, we open the curtains and then the self says, hey, we're all one. We always been one. It was just the curtain, like in a movie. So that's called the Atman, where the nature of the self is realized. And again, in Advaita Vedanta and Hinduism, it goes even further to differentiate Atman and then Paramatman, which means the supreme self, and then many different yogis and beings try to distinguish even greater degrees of self-realization and embodiment. So that's where the confusion arises, basically. Yes, because when we try to define those subtler steps, many different viewpoints arise.